Good day and welcome back to the Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. Thanks a million for joining me today. Yesterday, we worked on this idea of translating or converting our requirements. These are expectations we place on the world around us. Things like, or ways of talking to ourselves like this. Things must go this way or I simply cannot deal with it. That'd be an example of a requirement. And we're talking about converting those requirements into preferences, which have a softer tone to them. Something like this. I sure do like it when things go my way, but even if they don't, I can still cope okay. You get the difference between those, the difference in feeling between hard requirements and softer preferences? Well, that was the assignment for yesterday. What did you discover? I'm curious to know. And let's extend that then today. We described how requirements and addictive triggers are, in fact, just two sides of the same coin. That is, when I fall prey to internal requirements, I move oftentimes very quickly from more of a resting brain to more red alert brain. And I'm off to the races. And this is where addictive cravings get triggered. And that will oftentimes lead to relapsing to addictive behaviors. Whether we're talking about addiction to substances or other behaviors in terms of overeating or other distractions that end up costing us in the long run. So what we're talking about is kind of getting at the root of this process of how is it we get from point A to point B. The simplest way of remembering this rule, I think, is this. Triggers indicate the presence of requirements. When I get triggered for craving and for relapse, that means there's a requirement there. And so the solution, convert those requirements to preferences. And in doing so, we will enhance our resilience and dramatically reduce relapse risk. So for today, what I'd like you to do is try an experiment. You can do this on your own. Check in with yourself throughout the day, every hour or so, and see how you're feeling in your body. On a continuum from 1 to 10, how are you feeling in terms of tension versus relaxation? 1 would be totally relaxed, 10 would be totally tense. If you find tension, I'd like you to follow that tension down into any outer circumstance that may have just happened, or maybe it's an inner thought process that may be fueling that bodily tension. Once you've done that, I want you to see if you can detect any mental requirements at the root of your being more in red alert brain than in resting brain. So whether it's an outer situation that's triggered a thought, or there's some kind of internal reflection going on, see if you can track down the requirement underneath that tension that's at the very heart of your red alert brain in that moment. Now what I want to ask you to do is consider giving yourself a gift. And that gift will be 5 minutes at the most of mindful breathing. We've talked about this in the last number of posts where we're simply following our breath down into our belly, holding it there, and then relaxing and releasing it back out again. And just paying attention to that for 5 minutes. Really kind of unplugging from other responsibilities, ideally unplugging from the tension and the requirements that have led to that tension. And once you've completed that brief 5-minute exercise, can you revisit those earlier requirements that you identified and see about flexing them, if you can, into softer preferences? Once you've relaxed your body, is it possible to go back and have some flexibility and reimagine those things that were irking you or upsetting you and replace them with maybe preferences, but they don't have that hard edge to them that requirements have? Once you've completed this whole cycle of this experiment, take a moment just to notice how you're feeling now. Is your body less tense? Let's see what you discover. In the meantime, I want to thank you for spending part of your day with me and us here at the Vitality Project. It's much appreciated. I hope you'll come back soon, and in between now and then, please stay healthy and be well. Take good care.